A crack squad of 30 devout Scientologists worked all night scrubbing the car park of its Sydney headquarters with all-purpose cleaner to prepare for a visit from James Packer. That's according to a new book by author Steve Cannane, Fair Game, The Incredible Untold Story of Scientology in Australia in the early 2000s. Mr. Packer would receive auditing from top Scientology personnel and penthouse treatment with Tom Cruise at its LA celebrity base. "The big project we were working on was Jamie Packer," said Marty Rathbun, the church's former second-in-command, who described himself in the book as Mr. Packer's auditor, or counselor, in the United States. Mr. Rathbun said, "Jamie would come by from time to time when he was in the States and we would after session go up to the president's suite. It's the penthouse suite at the Celebrity Center, in Los Angeles. Tom had it reserved for that entire several-month period." Mr. Cannane's new book says actor Tom Cruise, left, suggested Packer try some of Scientology founder L. Ron Hubbard's techniques. The book, Fair Game, details the religion's influence on Mr. Cruise's relationship with Nicole Kidman, the former couple pictured together on Right. The Church of Scientology was also hoping to recruit James Packer's friend Lachlan Murdoch, the son of News Corp chairman Rupert Murdoch, according to Mr. Cannane's book released this week. Mr. Murdoch, pictured with wife Sarah Murdoch, says he has never considered joining the religion. Mr. Cannane told Daily Mail Australia recruiting Mr. Packer, and getting in the ear of his friend Lachlan Murdoch, was the religion's highest priority at the time. He was the top priority. On every level they were dedicating massive resources into getting him, Mr. Packer, in and keeping him happy. Steve Cannane, the author of the new Scientology Expose, said he had little doubt the church would come after him for his book. "The Church of Scientology says I am a bigot and will inevitably make other false claims about me following the publication of this book," he writes in its foreword. He noted some journalists who had been critical of Scientology had been the subject of attacks online to try and attempt to destroy their reputation. "It's almost inevitable they'll come after me in some way," he said in an interview. The Casino King's dalliance with the mysterious group in the early 2000s came during a low point of his life. 1.L, the telecommunications company he had invested so much time and money in, had collapsed. His marriage to model Jody Mears had broken down and friends were very worried. Mr. Packer has spoken publicly about how movie star and Scientology bigwig Tom Cruise reached out to him during this difficult period of his life, describing the Mission Impossible. "I felt like a failure and it was not a great time in my life," Mr. Packer told Seven's Sunday night program in 2013. "I think that he, Cruise, could tell that I was in pain and he invited me to his house to go skiing with him." Cruise is often described as one of the church's highest-ranking members. And despite Mr. Packer's friendship with the marketable movie star, it's unlikely he knew the effort Scientology was going to recruit him behind the scenes, the book suggests. Former church recruit Eric Cleach alleged he was on the cleaning team for Mr. Packer's arrival at the organization's former building behind Broadway Shopping Center in Glebe. "There were around 30 of us," the book quotes Mr. Cleach saying. "We worked all night and until lunchtime the next day." The new building contains an office dedicated to the religion's founder, L. Ron Hubbard. Old friends, James Packer, pictured with Lachlan Murdoch, in 2013. The church hoped to recruit both of them. The book claims I don't think he, Mr. Packer, would have had any inkling of what was going on behind the scenes, Mr. Cannane said. The book also contains claims from a former staffer, Lucy James, who claimed 3 hand-picked Scientologists were recruited to work for Mr. Packer essentially as spies, reporting on Packer's movements and actions. One report covered the fact that James was sleeping in until 11 a.m. every morning, which for some reason was considered a really big deal by Scientology executives, she said. Mr. Packer has long since severed ties with the religion, with the book pegging his departure at about 2006. It is not suggested that Mr. Packer had any knowledge of the plot to recruit Lachlan Murdoch, or that he ever attempted to recruit Mr. Murdoch to Scientology. Top officials in the Scientology hierarchy were said to have been interested in recruiting Lachlan Murdoch and in getting our claws into News Corp, one of the world's biggest publishing companies. In 2012, Mr. Murdoch told the Daily Beast news website he had never considered joining the religion in any way or at any time. A spokeswoman for the Church of Scientology said the book is like a hate crime generating prejudice, malice and potential aggression against members of a religion that has a more than 55-year history in Australia. The falsehoods are too many to comment on, the spokeswoman said, describing them as a disservice to the hard work and dedication of the Church's followers. The claims regarding these individuals are ludicrous and have no basis in fact. The Church denied Mr. Cleach's claims to Mr. Canning and rejected claims it attempted to use James Packer to recruit Lachlan Murdoch, together with other allegations concerning Mr. Packer. Representatives for Mr. Packer didn't respond to comment. Despite 2011 census figures pegging the religion as having only 2,163 members, a figure disputed by the Church, the organization recently opened a new $57 million Australasian headquarters in Chatswood. The sprawling facility, built on the bones of the former National Acoustics Laboratory, was opened by the Church's ecclesiastical leader David Miscavige last month. The opening ceremony included a performance by known celebrity follower Kate Soberano and its ecclesiastical leader David Miscavige. Mr. Miscavige delivered a thundering speech where he described the complex as a physical wonder that gives meaning to the spirit of Scientology itself and perfectly perfect. The opening was also attended by Lam, a former Auburn Council ally of colorful former Deputy Mayor Salim Major, and Dr. David Bennett, the former Commonwealth Solicitor General, or second highest ranking lawyer.